Item 9.
Item 9, motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to promote, protect, and preserve traditional seeds in Uganda.
Nsaba Butuuro.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I move this motion under Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament of Uganda. And the motion is, Mr. Speaker, for a resolution of Parliament urging government to promote, protect, and preserve traditional or indigenous seeds in Uganda. Mr. Speaker, sir, whereas Objective 14 of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda states that the state shall endeavor to fulfill the fundamental rights of all Ugandans with regards to social justice and economic development. And whereas Objective 22 provides that the state shall, through mass education and other appropriate interventions, take necessary steps to encourage people to grow and store adequate food, establish national food reserves for food security, and encourage and promote proper nutrition in order to build a healthy state. Aware that farmers who traditionally derive their livelihood from planting traditional seeds, which are considered to be more affordable, accessible, taste better, and are better adapted to local conditions, are facing challenges owing to factors that include rapid population growth, low yields, and deliberately designed propaganda, which is orchestrated by local and international promoters of non-traditional varieties. Noting that farmers in Uganda are, not by choice, Mr. Speaker, resorting to planting non-traditional seeds, despite their known grave limitations such as expensiveness, unaffordability, and as well as inaccessibility. Advocating that government must ensure that traditional seeds are protected, promoted, and preserved, and are of quality, with a view to defend the independence and sovereignty of Uganda as a nation, popularize nutrition, and ensure food security. Acknowledging that the two primary goals of non-traditional seeds are designed to replace and lead to extinction of traditional seeds, as well as turn African farmers and people into a huge market for non-traditional seeds and pesticides. Concerned that non-traditional seeds which are promoted by multinational seed corporations are planted once, unlike traditional seeds which are preserved and can be planted for as many countless seasons as possible, thus enabling farmers to sell, consume, and keep some of their seeds. Further concerned, Mr. Speaker, that reliance on traditional or non-traditional or non-indigenous seeds will inevitably lead Uganda to becoming fully, painfully, and humiliatingly dependent on multinational seeds corporations, which have patented their seeds, so that local farmers' recourse is to buy the same seeds every planting season. Now, Mr. Speaker, be it resolved by the House that government promotes, protects, and preserves traditional or indigenous seeds for purposes of, among other things, defending our food systems, independence, and survival. 2, government improves through public funding, research, and financial support to farmers the quality of traditional or indigenous seeds. 3, the government encourages farmers through awareness campaigns and educational programs to appreciate and embrace benefits of traditional seeds. 4, Mr. Speaker, government implements policies to protect traditional seeds so that they are not replaced by non-traditional seeds. And 5, ensures availability of quality traditional seeds to farming communities. 6, Mr. Speaker, encourages citizens to establish traditional seed banks. And 7, establishes seed banks and other preservation methods to maintain genetic diversity of traditional seeds. 8, government provides education, resources, and other incentives to farmers who grow and maintain traditional seed varieties. 8, Mr. Speaker, 9, beg your pardon. Government stands up to local and international promoters of non-traditional seeds whose primary goals are to attain universal control of the seed sector by themselves, create a huge market for their seeds and pesticides, as well as cause extinction of traditional seeds. Mr. Speaker, sir, 11 rather. Government should check activities of Eurocentric local research scientists, some of whom are hobnobbing with seed corporations in order to promote the latter's market for their seeds and herbicides. Mr. Speaker, finally, government designates a department in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to promote, preserve, and protect traditional seeds. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Butuuro. Is the motion seconded? Honorable Namboze, she has said the whole house. I think Nachumero, Paparu, Ismail, Aogon, Katabazi. Oh, I also have to consider the seconders. Emmanuel Rotara, Oranya Gilbert, Chema Sweet, and Wanda Richard. Thank you. Honorable, do you want to use 5 minutes to justify your motion?
Mr. Speaker, sir, seed is life. It is the most vital input in food production, and farmers' seeds are the lifeblood of Uganda's food sovereignty. For centuries, small-scale Ugandan farmers have been the backbone of the nation's agricultural success. Traditional seeds have long played a crucial role in food security, nutrition, and incomes of smallholder farmers in Uganda. Their inherent advantages include heightened resilience to adverse environmental conditions and remarkable medicinal and nutritional properties. These seeds, Mr. Speaker, are core to production and reproduction, which, taken together, guarantee both sovereignty and sustainability. Mr. Speaker, sir, this eminent and crucial role played by traditional or indigenous seeds is under threat from multinational seed corporations, which are behind the ongoing drive to take over worldwide control of the seed sector. These corporations, Mr. Speaker, don't want anyone else to have ownership of seeds. Their propaganda runs that it is in the interests of local farmers that such ownership would address Uganda's ills, which they say are related to hunger, overpopulation, poverty, and climate change. Mr. Speaker, the blunt truth, though, is that these seed corporations have one main goal in mind, namely to attain for themselves global corporate control of the seed sector, as well as achieve increased production and sale of their synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. By dominating the seed sector, Mr. Speaker, and fertilizers and herbicides, these seed corporations will have a huge market which will qualify them to sell their seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides as monopolists worldwide. Mr. Speaker, once multinational seed corporations have achieved this monopoly control of the seed sector, fertilizers, and pesticides, they then will turn our farmers into a huge market as well as make them dependent people who will be subjected to excruciating humiliation, exploitation, oppression, suppression, as well as domination to a degree that neither colonialism nor slave trade ever achieved. Successful dispossession of our farmers' traditional seeds would irreparably, irredeemably, permanently, and humiliatingly condemn us to food insecurity and loss of, among other things, seed sovereignty. Monopoly control of seeds by multinational seed corporations would lead to price increases, which would go way, way beyond the ability of most of our farmers. And such control or dominant levels of seed concentration into hands of these corporations would inevitably at some point, Mr. Speaker, threaten political stability of our nations. Seed sovereignty should be our legacy as Africans. Mr. Speaker, Uganda is facing a dangerous challenge, namely a deliberately well-designed extinction plan of traditional seeds. This further poses a multifaceted problem that has profound implications for our agricultural biodiversity, agricultural resilience, and cultural heritage. The demise of the traditional seeds would overlook critical advantages which our farmers already have, such as the fact that traditionally our local farmers plant, they harvest, eat, save, exchange, and sell their produce independent of external interventions. Traditional seeds, Mr. Speaker, once preserved, can be planted the following season without a farmer having to go and buy seeds from elsewhere. Mr. Speaker, exclusive reliance on seeds which are supplied by multinational seed corporations would end this self-reliance of our farmers. It would also lead to a dependency syndrome by the latter, since seeds which are owned by multinational seed corporations must be purchased expensively every planting season. To avoid such dependency and other negative outcomes like loss of food security, sovereignty, and dignity by our farmers, government must ensure that traditional seeds are preserved, promoted, and protected. Mr. Speaker, our impeccable call for protection, promotion, and preservation of traditional seeds is premised on several factors. One, a primary goal of multinational seed corporations, which are bidding to control the seed sector worldwide, is to replace traditional seeds with their version of seeds. Two, these seed corporations' main goal is to become sole global suppliers of seed for planting. Three, their aim is to become monopolists and turn our farmers into one big market for their seeds. Four, without our concerted efforts to conserve and promote the use of traditional seeds, Uganda risks losing the rich diversity of our seeds and also invaluable genetic resources, which are essential for a sustainable agriculture and the preservation of its agricultural heritage. 5. In order, Mr. Speaker, to achieve seed hegemony, multinational seed corporations are planning to transition African farmers away from traditional seeds to patented seeds, fossil fuel-based fertilizers, and other inputs which the latter do control. To achieve this, they are seeking to institute legal and financial penalties throughout Africa against African farmers who fail to adopt their patent-protected seeds. They are also using tactics such as intimidation, bribery of our officials, and propaganda in order to gain legitimacy in our part of the world. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, one would not be in his or her right mind to sanction the demise of our own seeds in favor of non-traditional or non-indigenous seeds, over which we have no control. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Dr. Tara.